All right, Aries, let's get into your reading. All right, the energy coming through today is this, and it carries a real weight to it. There is something that shifted overnight, and the cards are confirming it landed with force. This person made a critical mistake, and last night it finally caught up with them. They woke up to a realization they were not prepared for, and it rattled them completely. The timing of this reading is no coincidence, because Spirit wants you to hear this right now. What happened is not small, and the weight of it has been sitting on their chest. The truth hit them in a way they cannot ignore, and now everything looks completely different. They had been carrying on like nothing was wrong, but the mask fell off last night. Whatever version of events they were telling themselves, it crumbled apart in one single moment. Let us come in close today, because the cards are pulling in a very specific direction. Our first card today is the Tower, and it is standing bold right at the center. The Tower does not arrive quietly. It crashes through whatever foundation was built on false ground. This person believed they had things figured out, but reality shattered that illusion in one moment. Whatever they assumed about you, whatever comfortable narrative they were holding on to, it collapsed without warning. They saw something clearly for the first time, and it forced them to question everything. The ground beneath them cracked wide open, and now they are sitting in the rubble of it. That tower they built around their heart, the one made of pride and distance, it fell. There is no rebuilding it the same way, because the foundation was never honest to begin with. The wreckage is not punishment, it is clarity disguised as destruction, and they feel every piece of it. The next card coming through is the Eight of Cups, and this deepens the whole picture. This card speaks to a moment of turning away and then the sharp sting of regret. They walked away from something real, something rooted in genuine connection, and now they feel the absence. The Eight of Cups confirms they tried to move on, but the emptiness followed them everywhere. The full weight of that mistake came crashing down, and there was no shelter from the truth. Every cup they turned away from holds a memory, one they now desperately wish they could recover. They kept walking forward, hoping the ache would fade, but it only grew louder with distance. What this card reveals is a person who abandoned something sacred, and their soul knows it fully. The regret is not intellectual, it is visceral, and it woke them from a deep and stubborn sleep. What strikes me about this combination, the Tower with the Eight of Cups, is the timing. These two cards together confirm that the breakdown was sudden, but the buildup was happening for weeks. The collapse did not come from nowhere. It was the result of choices they refused to face. Then we have the Star, and this is where the energy starts to shift in your favor. The Star tells me that through all this wreckage, you remain the clearest light they know. Their realization was not just about what they lost, it was about who they lost entirely. You represent something irreplaceable in their world, and that truth became undeniable to them last night. The Star does not appear for shallow connections. It confirms a bond that runs to the core. In the middle of their lowest moment, your energy is what called them back to themselves. They did not just remember you fondly, they remembered you as the one thing that felt true. This card is healing energy racked in recognition, and it tells me they finally see you clearly. Your presence in their life was never optional, and now they understand it beyond what words convey. What is being revealed right now, unmistakably, is a person who made a devastating and irreversible error. They know it was their doing. They understand. It was their own fear that drove you apart. The message is loud and unmistakable today. A mistake was made and they cannot undo the knowing. This realization is not fading by morning. It has permanently altered how they see you now. Their eyes are wide open for the first time, and what they see is only you. Nothing about this awareness is temporary, because the cards confirm it reached them at a soul level. The mistake echoes through every quiet moment they sit with, and the echo only grows louder now. Everything they once thought they could walk away from is undeniably pulling them straight back to you. So there is a heaviness you have been carrying, and I need you to sit with this. Let us go deeper into this, because what is being shown involves your heart directly today. You have been holding more than anyone around you realizes, and the weight of it shows. The exhaustion is not physical, it is emotional, and it has been building longer than you admit. Your mind replays certain moments over and over, searching for answers that never quite arrive. Nobody asked you how you were handling all of this, and that silence wore you down. There were nights where the quiet pressed against your ribs, louder than any conversation you avoided. You convinced yourself that staying composed meant staying strong, but the cracks are widening beneath it. The loneliness is not about being alone. It is about being surrounded and still feeling invisible. Our first card is the Queen of Swords, and she mirrors exactly where you stand right now. The Queen of Swords carries clarity through pain. She does not crumble even when everything aches. You have adopted that same posture, calm on the exterior, fractured underneath every measured word you speak. What nobody sees is the war inside your chest, the constant battle between wanting and protecting. You trained yourself to detach when it hurts, but detachment has not brought you any peace. The Queen confirms you have been using cold logic to shield yourself, to avoid feeling too deeply. Every rational decision you made lately was rooted in survival, not indifference, and the cards validate that. Your composure is real, but underneath it, there is a longing you refuse to give a name. The discipline you show the world is admirable, but it also keeps the warmth locked behind walls. The next card is the Four of Cups, and it strikes at something very specific inside you. The Four of Cups shows you sitting with everything offered before you, yet unable to receive any. You are not ungrateful, you are guarded, and that guardedness has slowly turned into emotional numbness. There have been moments where connection tried to reach you, but you could not let it in. You looked at what was being offered and felt nothing. Not from lack of value, but exhaustion. The numbness is not apathy. It is your heart's way of saying it cannot absorb another wound. You have been sitting in that stillness, arms folded, watching life move, without reaching back for any. The Four of Cups confirms you withdrew not from weakness, but from the need to protect yourself. You stopped accepting tenderness because every time you opened up, the return was silence or confusion. That withdrawal became your armor, and now it fits so tightly you forgot what softness felt like. Then we have the Empress, and she arrives with something you have been refusing to accept. The Empress represents abundance, deep nurturing, and emotional richness, and she is reflecting you in this moment. You forgot how magnetic you are, how naturally you draw people in without even trying to. The love you pour into everything around you rarely returns in equal measure, and you noticed. You started questioning whether your warmth was being wasted, whether giving so much just left you hollow. The Empress confirms your heart is overflowing, but you have been pouring into vessels that never refill. That imbalance created resentment you never wanted to carry, and guilt for even feeling it at all. You gave with open hands, expecting nothing specific, but the emptiness of getting nothing back still stung. Your capacity to love did not shrink, it just learned to hide behind disappointment and self-doubt. You stopped trusting that receiving was something you deserved, and that belief quietly reshaped your entire world. The walls you built were not cruelty, they were grief, wearing a mask of composure and quiet strength. You are not broken, you are not weak, and this reading confirms that with absolute certainty today. The exhaustion you carry is proof of devotion, not failure, and that distinction matters more than you know. You gave pieces of yourself freely, and the world took them without asking if you had enough left. Your silence was never indifference. It was a fortress built from too many unanswered prayers you whispered. What lives inside your chest right now is not emptiness. It is love that found nowhere to land. You deserve to recognize that your heart, through all of this, has been doing the hardest work. Everything you held back, every tear you swallowed, every word you bit down on, it all matters. Okay, let us go ahead and get into what is happening on their side of this. The energy surrounding this person is tangled, heavy, and layered with emotions they cannot sort through. What is unfolding inside them is not confusion. It is the aftermath of a truth they ignored. They spent a long time convincing themselves they were fine, and that lie has finally expired. The mask they wore for weeks was never convincing, but they committed to it out of fear. Their pride told them to keep moving, but their heart has been screaming in the opposite direction. Let us see what the cards are showing today, because their energy is coming through extremely clear. Our first card is the Hermit, and it tells me they have been isolating themselves from everyone. The Hermit does not show up for casual withdrawal. It appears when the soul demands honest reckoning. This person has been sitting alone with their thoughts, and those thoughts keep circling back to you. The silence around them is not peaceful. It is suffocating, and nobody else is to blame. They pushed away the noise of the world, but the internal noise only grew sharper in return. They replay conversations in silence, picking apart every word they said, wondering where it all unraveled. The Hermit confirms they chose solitude not for peace, but because facing others felt unbearable right now. Their isolation is not healing them. It is amplifying every regret they tried to bury beneath routine. Late at night is when it hits the hardest, and they lie awake, drowning in what they lost. The hours between midnight and dawn have become their cruelest companion, filled with memories they cannot mute. The loneliness they carry was their own creation, and yet they cannot bring themselves to reach out. The next card is the Seven of Swords, and this reveals the strategy they have been running. The Seven of Swords tells me they tried to outsmart their own feelings, and it backfired completely. They convinced themselves that leaving quietly was the smarter move, that avoiding the mess protected them. What they did not anticipate, not even remotely, is how that avoidance would hollow them from inside. They thought distance was strategy, but distance became punishment, and now they sit with the consequences. The game they played with their own emotions turned on them, and the loss is staggering to absorb. The guilt is not something they talk about, but it lives in every quiet room they enter. Every shortcut they took around honesty, every detour away from truth, led them further from what mattered. The Seven of Swords confirms they know what they did, and the denial has completely dissolved now. Their own cleverness trapped them in a corner, and there is no intellectual escape from what they feel. Remorse has settled into their bones, permanent and unshakable, and no distraction can dull its presence. Then we have the Ace of Cups, and this shifts the energy into something raw and emotional. The Ace of Cups is pure feeling. It is the heart cracking open after months of resistance. What is flooding through them right now is not casual affection, it is overwhelming and undeniable love. They are feeling things they suppressed for so long, and the intensity of it has shaken them. The Ace of Cups does not arrive halfway, it pours everything at once, and they cannot breathe. Their feelings are no longer controlled or compartmentalized, they are spilling into every waking moment they have. The emotional flood is relentless, and they have no practiced response for something this deep or this honest. The vulnerability terrifies them because they built their entire identity around never letting anyone see them crumble. What the cards confirm about their inner world without any ambiguity is that the resistance has shattered. They are sitting in the full truth of what they feel, with no more walls to protect them. The fear running through them is specific. It is the terror of knowing they may have ruined everything. The regret is real, the love is real, and the fear of losing you permanently haunts their nights. Their pride is in pieces, their logic has failed, and all that remains is raw, unfiltered emotion. The version of themselves they projected to the world has dissolved, and what is left is painfully honest. The anguish is not performed for sympathy, it is genuine, and they are undone by their own choices. Their entire inner landscape has shifted, and nothing about who they thought they were feels accurate anymore. Every defense they built to keep from feeling this has collapsed, and there is nothing left but truth. Now the energy is shifting from what they feel into what they are actually about to do. Come in close because the cards are revealing movement that is already beginning to take shape. This is no longer just internal. Something external is forming, and the momentum behind it is undeniable. A tipping point has been reached, and sitting still is no longer an option they can tolerate. The decision has already started forming in their mind, and it pushes them toward a definitive move. Whatever hesitation held them in place before, it has burned away, and urgency has taken its place. Our first card is the Knight of Wands, and this is pure forward motion with no brakes. The Knight of Wands does not wait for the perfect moment. He charges in with total conviction. This person is gearing up to make contact, and the force behind it is fast and deliberate. No careful approach is being planned here. They are being driven by an impulse they cannot contain. The card confirms a bold move is coming, one that will catch you completely off guard today. Overthinking has been abandoned, the risks have been dismissed, and now the only direction left is forward. Whatever script they rehearsed in their head has been thrown out, replaced entirely by raw honesty. The pace of this shift is rapid, and nothing about it shows any sign of slowing down. Their feet are already pointed in your direction, and every passing hour sharpens that resolve further. The window for staying silent has closed, and they recognize that inaction now would be the greater failure. A reaching out is happening soon, and it carries weight behind every single word they choose. Preparation is underway for words they have never spoken aloud, and the timing feels urgent to them. The Knight of Wands tells me the approach will not be gentle. It is coming in direct. Expect a message, a call, or a physical appearance, because this energy does not stay distant. The sidelines are over, the pretending is over, and the shadows are no longer where they belong. The action will feel sudden to you, but for them, it has been building quietly for weeks. The next card is the Magician, and this confirms active preparation with clear and focused intention. The Magician does not stumble into action. He orchestrates it, and every resource gets placed with precision. Courage and clarity are being gathered deliberately, all aimed at one specific target, and that target is you. Nothing about this approach is empty-handed. They are bringing something that carries genuine substance behind it. The Magician confirms that what is being planned is not impulsive despite the speed. It is calculated. Every word has been considered. Every angle has been measured, and the delivery is nearly locked in place. There is nothing scattered about this preparation. It is focused, intentional, and aimed with surgical precision. The precision behind this approach, every careful detail, confirms they know one chance is all they have. All available tools are being lined up with singular focus, and the direction of it is unmistakable. Leaving things to chance is no longer acceptable, and they intend to be impossible to ignore. This is not a casual check-in. It is a deliberate act of reclaiming what was lost. Then we have the Six of Wands, and this card confirms they believe this move will succeed. The Six of Wands carries victorious energy, and it tells me the step forward expects a response. No defeated posture is present here. They are arriving with conviction and something real to prove. The confidence behind this action is not arrogance. It is the desperation of refusing to accept the loss. Deep in their gut, they know this connection is not finished, and they are betting everything on that. The Six of Wands confirms the approach will carry strength, sincerity, and a refusal to walk away again. The determination behind this move is absolute, and the cards show no hesitation remaining in their body. Every ounce of pride that once held them back has been traded, without hesitation, for total vulnerability. What the cards reveal about the movement ahead is clear, direct, and impossible for you to miss. Hiding is over, silence is over, and the most vulnerable position they have ever taken begins now. The action is imminent, the preparation is nearly complete, and the direction of all of it is you. Debate has ended, the decision is locked in, and the clock is ticking on their very next move. Nothing about what comes next will be subtle, quiet, or easy to overlook, and the cards confirm that. So what I need to share with you now goes beneath everything that has already been revealed. Let us go ahead and dive into this, because the confessions hiding underneath are staggering to witness. There are words trapped inside their chest, words that have never once touched the air between you. The things they hold back are not small. They are the kind of truths that reshape everything. Admissions get rehearsed in silence. Confessions whispered only to empty rooms where nobody can hear them. What lives beneath their composure is a desperation so tender it frightens even them to acknowledge. Our first card is the Moon, and this card lives entirely in the realm of the unspoken. The Moon governs secrets, hidden longings, and the truths we bury, because speaking them feels too dangerous. What they conceal from you is not betrayal. It is devotion so intense it terrifies them. The confession they cannot bring themselves to make. the one they guard, is that you are everything. Every waking thought bends toward you, and that obsession is something they have never admitted to anyone. Telling you the full scope of what they feel, in their mind, would overwhelm you completely. Unfinished messages fill their phone, drafted confessions they construct, and then delete before ever pressing send. Their deepest unspoken truth is that losing you did not just hurt, it dismantled who they were. Pretending to function normally is exhausting, but privately, the absence of you hollowed out their identity. The secret they guard most fiercely is simple. They have never loved anything the way they love you. Not a single person in their life knows, not truly, what they carry for you inside. Laughter was used as cover, distance as distraction, manufactured indifference as armor, and none of it worked. The moon tells me their dreams are flooded with you, with versions of conversations that never happened. Mornings begin with reaching for a presence no longer beside them, and the grief arrives instantly each time. The longing they hide is not romantic nostalgia. It is a physical ache sitting permanently in their ribcage. Comparing every face to yours has become involuntary, and nobody comes even remotely close to matching you. Living without you feels like performing on a stage with no audience, hollow and completely meaningless to them. The next card is the King of Cups, and this confirms emotional depth they refuse to display. The King of Cups holds oceans of feeling behind a calm exterior, and that mirror is exact. Underneath the composed surface, they are drowning in a love they consider far too late to offer. The hidden confession here is that they believe they do not deserve you, and it paralyzes them. Secretly, they feel the damage they caused is permanent, that no apology could ever be truly sufficient. Tears come when nobody is watching, silent and private, born from a grief they authored entirely. A private fear consumes them nightly, the terror that you have already found a safer harbor. That specific terror keeps them frozen, because confirming it would be worse than living in the unknown. Torturing themselves with possibility feels safer, far safer, than facing the finality that you moved on. The King of Cups confirms they fantasize about one honest conversation, one moment of total transparency. Sitting across from you, unguarded, and saying everything without defense, is the scenario they replay constantly. Their pride was poison. They know that now, and they swallowed it until it consumed them entirely. The confession buried deepest is that they knew, the moment they walked away, it was the wrong choice. Then we have the Two of Cups, and this reveals the desire they protect above everything else. The Two of Cups is union, the merging of two souls, and they ache for exactly that. What they secretly crave is not just communication, it is full and permanent reconciliation without any conditions. The desire behind every confession is totality. They want all of you, not a fragment or memory. Mornings and arguments and silence and laughter, every ordinary moment. They threw it all away without thinking. The Two of Cups confirms, unmistakably, that the love beneath their pride is the truest thing they own. No version of their future makes sense without you in it, and that admission terrifies them the most. Every unspoken word, every swallowed confession, every deleted message, all of it leads to one singular truth. Completely and irreversibly, they are in love with you, and they have absolutely no idea what to do. Now let us go into what the near future holds, because the cards are closing this with clarity. Our first card is Judgment, and this confirms a reckoning is arriving that neither of you can avoid. Judgment does not appear for small shifts. It marks the kind of turning point that redefines everything. Within the coming days, a conversation will land between you that changes the entire dynamic permanently. The truth they have been holding will surface, and when it does, the connection transforms at its core. Judgment tells me this is not something that fades or gets swept aside. It demands to be faced. A moment of raw honesty is approaching, and it requires both of you to stand firmly in it. The near future brings confrontation with everything unspoken, and avoidance is no longer an available option. What unfolds from here will not be gradual. It will arrive with intensity and purpose behind every word. The shift that is coming cannot be reversed once it begins, and it is already in motion. Then we have the Ten of Cups, and this card confirms where all of this is ultimately heading. The Ten of Cups is emotional fulfillment, lasting union, and the kind of love that finally settles. What is forming between you and this person, despite the pain, is moving toward deep reconciliation. The near future holds a reunion that carries weight, substance, and the permanence of a real foundation. Perfection is not the promise here, but authenticity is, and that is far more valuable to receive. Now, here's my advice for you as you move through what is approaching in the days ahead. Do not rush to meet their energy halfway. Let them come to you with the fullness they owe. You have earned the right to receive without chasing, and the cards confirm your patience served you well. Guard your peace, but do not close your heart, because what is approaching deserves to be felt openly. When they reach you, listen before you respond. Let their words settle before you give them yours. You do not owe forgiveness on their timeline. You owe it only when your spirit is genuinely ready. Trust what your body tells you in that moment, because your intuition has been accurate this entire time. The strength you showed by standing still while everything shifted is the very thing they now admire. The message today was clear from the very beginning. A big mistake was made, and they know it. Last night brought a realization they could not outrun, and it struck them at the deepest level. Everything in this reading confirmed that truth finally broke through, and nothing will ever be the same. Let me walk you through every card that appeared, each one confirming this message for you today. The Tower shattered the false narrative, the Eight of Cups revealed regret, and the Star confirmed your light. The Queen of Swords mirrored your composure. The Four of Cups showed your guarded and exhausted heart. The Empress reflected the love you carry within, and the Hermit revealed their suffocating isolation from everyone. The Seven of Swords exposed every failed strategy, and the Ace of Cups flooded them with overwhelming feeling. The Knight of Wands launched movement, the Magician confirmed preparation, and the Six of Wands carried their confidence. The Moon unveiled every hidden confession, and the King of Cups held the depth they refused to show. The Two of Cups confirmed the union they crave, and judgment sealed the reckoning that is now arriving. The Ten of Cups closed this reading with a promise, emotional fulfillment that is forming just ahead. 17 cards came through for you today, and not one of them contradicted the message you received. Every card pointed in one direction, toward a love that is real and a truth that surfaced. This reading carried something sacred, and I want you to sit with the weight of what was shown. What came through today was not random. It was specific, intentional, and meant for you in this moment. You were chosen to hear this today because Spirit knows your heart has been waiting for confirmation. The love you deserve is not a question, it is a certainty, and the cards proved it today. Hold on to what was revealed, carry it forward, and trust that what is meant for you is arriving. Thank you for being here, for trusting this space, and for letting the cards speak to you. I appreciate every one of you from the bottom of my heart, and I am sending love always. The Ten of Cups is emotional fulfillment, lasting union,